Hi, and welcome to another episode of Dark Girl Chronicles. Hi. It's been a couple of months. I know. I'm well aware. I have had a lot going on with school and life. So I haven't been able to record anything, which is troubling. But yeah. So life. Um School has been going fairly well. I passed last semester. Okay, the last time I did a video was like the summer, and it was I was still taking like one of these classes that I needed to um fix up my transfer record before I could transfer to my new school. So I was taking that class. I got an A in it. And the other class that I was taking over the summer was like a personal finance class. The class that I got an A in was statistics. And the other class I was taking was personal finance. It was like a continuing education class because that's what I want to eventually get into is personal finance and helping people. So that's why I'm working on an accounting degree right now because I want to have the background in accounting to understand what's going on with knowing how to balance a budget and assets and liabilities and that sort of thing before I go and try to help somebody fix their assets and manage their liabilities. So that personal finance class, I got a B in that, and I was super happy about that. I had to take like a final at the end, and we didn't have tests each week, but we had like a final at the end where you were graded on like overall the course. So I only missed like 4 questions. So yeah, it was only 4 questions out the entire thing, and I got a B. So I was super happy with that. I started the fall semester at my new school, and I'm continuing my accounting degree, and I got 2 years to go. I have basically exactly 2 years to go. So, in terms of time, class wise, I have like 11 classes left, which is going to take forever. It's going to take a long time. I feel like that's going to take a long time. So I passed intermediate accounting one with a C plus. That was hard. I really didn't think I was going to do that well in that. And I looked up and passed the final. Actually, I didn't. I failed the final exam. But because I got an A on the first test, and I got 100 on my project, basically, I got like a 98 on my project, and I got I'm trying to think. I got 100 on my homework. It counteracted the other two tests that I had in that class. The other 3 tests that I had in that class that I did not pass. So I wound up getting a C plus. So yeah, that was hard. I'm not even gonna lie. I took cost accounting last semester, and I got a B in that. I was super happy about that because I thought I was not going to pass cost at all. Cost accounting is not easy. It's very hard. It's very hard. You have to know about manufacturing and how to account for that, and raw materials and overhead and that sort of thing. So that's why I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to pass this or not. But I wound up getting a B in that. I got a C on the first test, and like B's on both of the second and third tests because we only had 3 tests in that class. And then I got an A homework grade. I had 100 homework grade. So, and we didn't have a project in that class. So I did really well. I was very pleased with that in the end. So then there's this semester. So this semester I'm taking accounting. I'm taking intermediate accounting 2, and I'm taking business finance. Now I'm going to tell you, in the beginning, business finance is super easy for me because it's review. So I understand that a little bit better So like in the first 4 chapters that we've had so far, it's been like how accounting and finance relate to each other. Well, I already know accounting. I know basic accounting at least. So I could go be a bookkeeper for somebody. So that part, I aced that part. Um, the and I know it talked about like what's the difference between a corporation, a partnership, limited liability, those sorts of things. And then we had to know like ratios. So I knew most of the ratios. I knew how to do economic value added, it was that sort of stuff. So I knew how to do that. I got a 91 on my first test. Actually a 92. I got a 92 on my first test. And I have an A grade in there right now. I have a 92 grade point average in there because I have 100 homework grade. I've gotten 100 on all of the homework, and it's super easy to me. Like I understand this, and maybe I should go into finance instead of accounting. I understand this a lot more than intermediate. So I'm looking forward to advanced accounting. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Excuse me. I'm tired. I'm tired. It's the weekend, so I'm tired. I managed to make it through the week, and am trying to keep it together to get to Saturdays. But yeah, no, school seems to be going well right now. I'm happy with my progress right now and what I'm doing. We're gonna see how well intermediate shakes out, because I gotta be able to pass intermediate. That's going to be the bulk of what I do, probably. I mean, they're going to be expecting intermediate calculations from me when I go get a job. So I'm like, I kind of need to pass intermediate. So then, school-wise, yeah, we're okay. So, there was a problem that cropped up at the beginning of the semester. So, you guys, I haven't really talked about like my struggles with my weight. I have been overweight for a long time. Like I've been overweight for almost 20 years now. When I started college, I was probably 125 pounds, 130 pounds. Okay. When I started college the first time, let me preface that the first time. I started college in 1999. The like August of 1999. Okay, that was my first semester. I was 130 pounds at best. By the time I started my third semester of college, I was like probably 200 pounds. I'm pretty sure I gained almost 100 pounds in my first 2 semesters of school. And there were various reasons for this, okay? But I gained a lot of weight really fast. And then over the years, I've steadily put on pounds. So, and then I would drop it, and then I would put it back on, and then drop it, put it back on. So now, I am now in college the second time, and about to graduate again, and 20 years after I started college the first time, and I am at 255 pounds. Okay. The heaviest I've ever been has been 264 pounds, which was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I've always struggled with my weight. And I had said at the beginning of the year, I was going to start going to the gym. I was going to start playing DDR again. And I wound up not being able to play DDR again because my pad is busted. I have a dance pad that I bought 15 years ago that is like really bad now. It kind of doesn't register steps, and it'll kind of register steps when I don't want it to. So yeah, I can't really play DDR. So, but I did join the gym. The problem is I have also been diagnosed with diabetes because I was diabetic. I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic 2 years ago, 3 years ago almost. And in that time, I still put on weight, and I was trying to get rid of the weight. So I'd been working on changing my diet, what time I ate, that sort of thing. Well, alas, I did not succeed in that, in staving off the diabetes. Diabetes happens to run on my mother's side of the family, and according to my father, who I'm going to get to in a little bit, um, it also ran on his side of the family. So I already kind of had an idea that I was going to have diabetes. I just wasn't expecting it right at this moment. Though everyone on my mother's side who developed it, they were in their 40s. So, and I'm almost 40. So, yeah. So the problem here is, now that I've been diagnosed with diabetes, I have no choice but to go to the gym, lose the weight, try to lose the weight, and get it off. Because otherwise, I'm going to be stuck like this. So, and I will have complications from diabetes, and it will kill me. So, and then I will have to have things chopped off before that. So I don't want that. So I'm going to the gym. I've been going to the gym. And I lost 9 pounds. You can't really tell in my face. My face is still fat right now, but I can immediately tell in my stomach area. I can tell immediately that I've lost 10 pounds. I lost 9.5 pounds. Just in the first week by itself. When I went to the doctor, because what happened was, and I'm gonna tell you guys, let me tell you now, diabetes, you don't want diabetes. You don't. Diabetes is terrible, and it will kill you. So, okay, Wednesday, January the 26th, because today is February the 10th, Saturday, February the 10th. Wednesday, January the 24th, let's go back a little bit before that. Monday, the 22nd, January 22nd, I did not feel all that great, and I didn't go to work that day. I felt awful. I felt absolutely awful. And I was sick as a dog. Okay. That Monday, that same day, I wound up going to class. Because I have class Monday nights. I have class Monday through Thursday. Okay. So this is important. So Monday night I went to class. My eyes were super blurry on the way home. I noticed Monday night when I was leaving class, I couldn't see. Okay. That should have been red flag number 1. Red flag number 2 was Tuesday. I still couldn't see. And I went to work and I asked my friend, I talked to my friend at work and I said, hey, I think something's not right here. Because I don't feel well. I didn't feel well all yesterday, but I felt well enough to go to work Tuesday. I said, I didn't feel well all day Monday. And Monday night, my eyesight was really bad. Like, I couldn't see things far away. Up close, yes, but not far away. So, and my vision was super blurry. Even up close, it was still kind of wonky. And my friend said, you should call your doctor. I think something's going on there. You said you got high blood pressure and you're pre-diabetic. You might want to go check your blood sugar. But call your doctor and find out what's going on. So I did. I couldn't get a hold of my doctor on Tuesday. So Wednesday, I was, I went to the doctor. I went to urgent care because I said, well, I can never get a hold of my doctor on Tuesday. I'm just going to go to urgent care on Wednesday morning and find out what's going on. I got to the doctor Wednesday morning. I set a thing where I could go in, and finally, and they never did call me to tell me, oh, you can come in now, because you can do it where you do it offline. You can do it online, and they'll call you in 30 minutes ahead of time. But they never did call, so I went and I said, well, let me go on in here and find out what's going on. So I went down there. I get in there. They talk to me. They check my blood sugar. Yo, my blood sugar was over 350. Okay. That was with not having anything to eat. Okay. So they were like, they came back in the room. They were like, and you said you were pre-diabetic. You need to go to the hospital right now. Like, don't wait. Go to the hospital right now. And I'm like, what you mean? Like, what do you mean? What was my blood sugar? And they were like, it's over 350. Go to the hospital right now. Go to the ER. Tell them we did a test and it was over 350, and you need to see a doctor immediately. Okay. That was immediately. I was kind of like, oh God, let me go to the hospital. The messed up part was I had ordered something to eat because I thought, oh, I'm going to be out of the doctor's office and I can go get some lunch and go on into work. Everything will be fine. Just, they'll tell me, oh, I need to go get glasses and everything is fine. No. So I had to go pick up my food that I wound up not eating, which would have probably sent it through the roof even more, which we're going to get to that in a minute too. So I went to the ER where Brandon works as a security guard. I went to the same hospital and I went to the ER and I told them, police called my fiance. He works here as a security guard with you guys. Call him, please, and let him know that I'm here and that I'm down here in the ER because we have an issue. So they called him and he came downstairs and he was all worried and he was like, I told you should have gone in on Monday. This is bad. This is really bad. And I'm like, I don't even know what it is yet. Let's find out what it is. Then we can determine if it's really bad. So he was sitting there with me. I had called my brother and I had called my aunt on the way to the hospital and said, I have to go to the hospital. The doctor I left the urgent care and they told me to go directly to the hospital because my blood sugar is through the roof, apparently. So, and my brother and my aunt also have diabetes. So immediately they both knew it was probably kicking in. Okay. So my aunt was like, I'm on the way to the hospital with you. I'm going to meet you there. Just go to the ER and tell them what the doctors told you to tell them. So my brother called me while I was in getting my food, and he was like, yeah, that means your diabetes is probably kicked in. You need to go to the hospital, have them put you on insulin, because that means if it's that high and you haven't eaten, it's probably diabetes. So I went, I got there, I got checked in. They checked my blood sugar again. It was down to 275. That's still way too high. It's way too high for me to have not eaten. Okay. So I then, and my vision was still blurry and my blood pressure was crazy. So, I sat there for a little while. I sat there for about 2 hours and, they took me in the back and, they put me on fluids because here's red flags number 3 and 4. Tuesday night, I was super dehydrated, apparently. And all Monday and Tuesday and Sunday, the previous Sunday, I was constantly going to the bathroom. Constantly. Like, it had reached a point where I would drink something, 20 minutes later, I'm in the bathroom peeing. Drink something, 20 minutes later, in the bathroom peeing. Like, and it would be as if I drank this whole ton of stuff. So I said, something's not right about that either. But I knew that was a sign of pre-diabetes and diabetes. I knew it was a sign of that. But I was like, well, I don't know exactly. Let me be on the safe side. Let me find out what's going on. So I went and they put me on fluids because of that. Because I told them, I was like, every time I would drink something Tuesday night, 20 minutes, I was like, Brandon, go get me something to drink out of the refrigerator. And I had been craving cold and sweet stuff Monday night. I had wanted something cold and sweet the whole time, just sitting there. And I would tell them, get me something cold and sweet out the refrigerator. So that should have been red flag number 5. Okay. So, that was Wednesday. When they finally, I ate a parfait. This was the problem. My aunt said, well, we already know what it is, pretty much. You have all of the symptoms of diabetes kicking in. So she said, well, and I was starving. So she gave me this parfait that she had. Y'all, that raised it up to 466 while I was sitting there. So the doctor was like, when they finally came back and they gave me the results of my blood sugar test, it was at 466. Okay. So the doctor was like, yeah, you have onset type 2 diabetes. I mean, it's kicked in, and you know that's what it is. We're about 100% certain that that's what it is. So, they gave me what's called metformin, which is the pill version of insulin, basically. And they had me on fluids to stop me from being super dehydrated. So, that was Wednesday night. They let me go home. They got it down to 323, which is bad. Still, that's really bad. But it was less than what I was when I had the parfait and then, made the mistake of eating something else with it. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, I felt fine. I was at work. My eyesight was getting marginally better because the doctor said it would go down once my eyesight would improve as my blood sugar went down. Okay. So that was Thursday. I was fine. The medicine started working because metformin makes you go to the bathroom. Let me tell you something. This is how you're going to lose weight. You're going to crap your insides out because everything that you eat is going to make you go to the bathroom. And it was bad. I swear. It started working. I started taking it Wednesday night. Thursday morning, I was in the bathroom. Like late Wednesday, early Thursday, I was in the bathroom to start with because I had a salad with processed meat on it. And let me tell you, when you own metformin, you can't have processed meat. That's bad. You cannot have it at all. It will run you to the bathroom immediately. So, that was, I'm trying to think. That was, okay. That was Thursday. All right. I'm trying to remember the chain of events here. Okay. Friday. I got up Friday morning. I felt terrible. And they had said, you're going to have symptoms of not feeling well. You're going to have that. So you're not going to feel well because you're constantly going to the bathroom with this medicine. But I felt awful Friday morning. Terrible, like terrible. So, this was Friday the 26th. So, I went to work. I got there late because I had to go to the bathroom fooling with the metformin. And then when I got there, I was like, my blood pressure is high. Like, I feel awful. I have a headache. And I told my boss, I was like, I don't feel all that great. Like, I don't know. I don't feel good. And if I don't feel good in the next 2 hours, I'm going to take my black ass back to the ER because they told me if you have any other symptoms, come back immediately because we might not have gotten this under control, to the point where you can be out and functioning. What we don't want you to do is pass out on the road because it's too high, or you're at work and you pass out because it's too high. So I was sitting there, I ate breakfast, and I still felt terrible. Like I felt awful. So about 11 o'clock or so, I felt nauseous. I felt extremely nauseous, and my head was killing me still. And I'd taken something for the headache. So I said, okay, I gotta go back to the ER because this is bad. Like, I'm not supposed to be nauseous. And the nausea, they had said, if you feel nauseous, come back. So I said, okay, I'm going back to the ER. So I left work immediately. And I let them know, I'm leaving now because this is bad. We're going to get to my supervisor in a minute, why that made me angry in addition to being nauseous on the road. So I left work. I went back to the ER and told them, I seem to be having some more issues. They diagnosed me as diabetic on Wednesday, but they told me to come back if I have problems. I'm back here because I'm probably having some problems. So they were checking my blood pressure the whole time. My blood sugar was like 2 something at that point. But my 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 blood pressure was high as the devil. Okay, and it would not go down. It kept going. It kept shooting up and then going back down, shooting up, going back down. The bottom number was super high, higher than it's supposed to be. Let's put it that way. So finally, I was just like, okay, you know what? No, let's go on and let's talk to the doctor about this. So they put me on more fluids because I was apparently dehydrated still. I hadn't noticed it that it had calmed down since they'd given me the fluids, but yeah, it was still bad. They still gave me some more fluids to get it to get my blood pressure to calm down and stop doing weird shit. So, but all day Friday, blood pressure was through the roof, through the roof, through the roof. So, which when you have super high blood sugar, that's linked to your blood pressure as well. And my blood pressure was high. So because both of those things were high, yeah, that was a problem. So that's why I was nauseous. So that was Friday. I left the hospital Friday night after they gave me more fluids. And excuse me. Saturday, I went to work because we had to work that Saturday. And I had taken something and I'd eaten for the metformin so that I could take it. Well, Saturday, apparently my stomach decided, but you need to go to the bathroom all day. Every 20 minutes I was in the bathroom because of the metformin. It upset my stomach so bad, I was in there every 20 minutes. And I was scared I was going to be dehydrated again. So I took some Pepto-Bismol, which apparently I wasn't supposed to do. Okay, so that was Saturday. Sunday, I went to the grocery store. Everything, I had to throw everything I had in my freezer out. Everything, pretty much I need to get rid of everything in my cabinet still. But for the most part, I've bought a lot of salad and a lot of chicken, a lot of beef. I can eat beef still, but carbs and sugar, no. So white rice, white pasta, I'm trying to think, stuff like grits, most starches, can't have it. I can have certain things, but they have to be very, very, very small in moderation. Like last night, we went and had like nachos. So I personally didn't have nachos. I had like 5. Okay. He got a thing of nacho chips and like pico de gallo. Okay. I got what they have. It was supposed to be a nacho bowl, but I got, instead of getting chips, I just got the meat, and the veggies that I wanted on it, and I had cheese on it because I can have cheese. Cheese is fine. But I can't have like I couldn't have the nacho chips because that's corn. Corn equals starch. Starch equals sugar. Sugar equals bad. Okay, we will be back in the ER with a super high blood sugar again. So I knew I had to just substitute that out. And they were like, "Oh, we can give you a wheat one," and I'm like, "No, that's quite all right. You can gotta go through all that." And I didn't want a tortilla shell. They could give me a wheat tortilla shell, but I didn't want a tortilla. Like, I didn't want that right then. I wanted nachos. And I thought maybe I could get some nachos. But I thought they had wheat nachos, is why I was like, So I wound up just getting like the bowl without the nachos, basically. So, and that was fine. And he did get nachos. Brandon got nachos, but I just ate like a few of them. I didn't have a whole bunch of it because that would have been bad. So I then, I'm trying to think, what did I do? So that was Sunday. I had to go to the grocery store and do all of that. Monday, it was fine. I started my new diet, with very little carbs, low sugar, and that's how I've been losing the weight, because I mean, it's been water weight, and because I retain fluid really bad, which is probably part of the diabetes and heart problems. But the doctor said I didn't have any heart issues, so that was kind of odd. Anyway, so all of that week, that was fine. I've got great results because I changed my diet and I've been going to the gym. I walk a mile every time I go to the gym. It takes me about 30 minutes and I walk a mile, the equivalent of a mile on the treadmill. So that's why, I mean, I've been seeing slow results, but it's results. So I've got great numbers now. My A1C also, because when you're diabetic, they do what's called an A1C test. It does an average over 3 months. My 3-month average was 10.7. So yes, I have diabetes. It's been confirmed. I have diabetes. And probably done had it for about 3 or 4 months and just didn't realize. It just got to the point where it was just bad. Like it was really bad and it started affecting my eyesight. So I wound up I got my numbers down, way down. So the highest it was 466 that I know of. Okay. I have gotten that down to like 120-ish, 110-ish, which is great. I've managed my average, like when I took it last night before I went to bed, because I have to check my blood sugar 3 times a day now. I take my average and I figure out, I prick my finger. I have the little testing kit. My aunt gave me one to start, and then I'm going to give hers back in a couple of days when I see her again. And I went to see my doctor, and that's when she did my A1C, but she gave me a prescription so that I can get my own meter. So I got that, and then I got one through work. So I wound up checking it and 3 times a day. So, and I usually check it. I even check it a little more than that now because I'm just starting out. So like I'll check it before breakfast, which is going to be high in the morning. I know that. I know to look for that. And not to be alarmed, super alarmed. It's been under 200 for about a week now. So I've consistently got it under 200. I kind of sort of know what's going to make it spike and what doesn't make it spike. Like I can't have a whole banana. Bananas have natural sugar in it, and the sugar makes it shoot through the roof. So that first week, I kept wondering why my blood sugar would be super high. And I was like, why is this super high like this? And then I would go walk. I said, well, let me go walk. And then I had glucose shakes. Glucose shakes make it go down to it. It helps control it. So I went and walked, and I had a glucose shake, and that brought it back down to I'd say probably it dropped at about 150 points, because when I had that banana, it made it shoot up to 387. So I was like, oh no, that's bad. We can't have bananas. Obviously, we cannot have bananas. Like I was sitting there and wondering why I felt awful after I'd had breakfast, and I had put banana in my oatmeal, which I have to eat the completely plain oatmeal. Like I can't have anything in the oatmeal, none of that. So I was like, okay, well, and I bought something that has 0 sugar and 0 carbs. So I was like, well, and you get used to it after a while. And I've gotten used to it now. It tastes terrible at first. I was like, oh God, this needs some sugar. But I was like, add sugar to this, die. Or not add sugar, live. So yeah, no, I got used to the taste of it. But then I wound up doing so that's when I realized I couldn't put the banana in it. Bananas, period. I cannot have bananas. I can probably have half a banana, and even then, I can't even really eat that. So I wound up just eating the oatmeal and having water with breakfast. Like I can't even have drinks other than water right now because I don't know what works and what doesn't work. Unsweetened tea probably is fine. It has to be unsweetened. Um, and I'm trying to think. Water, pretty much. No other juice. I can probably get sugar free whatever, but I don't want to drink soda. I have no taste for soda right now. I have no taste for soda. Like I don't want any whatsoever. I do kind of miss ginger ale, but not a whole lot. My whole thing is right now I'm really sick of eating. I am tired of eating. Like I don't want anything to eat anymore. I don't like I have no appetite whatsoever, which is probably why also I feel like I'm losing weight because I'm not eating. And if I do eat, it's very little. Like I can't eat a whole lot anymore because then I'm not hungry. I'm super full and I can miss a meal and be fine. But I don't like missing meals, so I have to eat little bits at a time. So yeah, it completely changed my portion size, which is what it's gonna do. Um, it changed your portion control. It changes how often you're eating, what time you eat. That's also important. I cannot eat past like 7 o'clock now. So, and last night I kind of made the exception because I got home from work super late. But I wound up eating at like 8 o'clock, and but I mean, I wasn't hungry. I was hungry, but I wasn't super hungry. So, I don't know. It was weird. Like it was really weird. But yeah, I don't particularly, I mean, I have no appetite anymore, so changing my complete entire diet completely changed my appetite. And I don't have cravings for anything. Like we had donuts at work earlier and in the week, and I was just like, okay. And the girl was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot about you. You can't have this." And I'm like, "It's not. It's fine anyway because I didn't want it anyway. Like I don't want it. Like I have no taste for it whatsoever. Like I don't want it. It does not appeal to me whatsoever. Also, knowing that eating it will send me to the hospital more than likely. Yeah, no, I don't want to have to go back to the hospital because that's $175 every time I go in there. So I'm just like, yeah, no, I really don't want to go to the hospital right now. That's no, I don't want to have to make another trip back to the ER because we can't be bothered to, do some impulse control. So yeah, I mean, I mean, my life has changed. It's completely changed, and pretty soon, I mean, I'm gonna see it be gone, and all of this will be gone. Because like I say, my stomach is certainly slimming down. Like I don't even retain fluid like that anymore. I mean, I can tell a difference, and I feel better. Oh my gosh, I feel like 10 times better. I'm not nearly as tired. I'm not nearly as irritable and swollen, and I mean, I feel a million times better just from going to the gym. Now my legs are like screaming at me, "No, ma'am, what is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "We have to do this. You're gonna have to get used to this." But yeah, no, that part's better. Um, so my getting into what happened with my job. So my supervisor, who is chronically ill, when I come in there and I tell her, first of all, I'm like, I feel awful. I don't know what's going on, but I feel awful. Um, I need to. I gotta go. I gotta call the doctor. Um, my friend at work, I'm not even gonna lie, and I told her this. I told her, I said, "Thank you for telling me that to make me realize it was probably my blood sugar and not high blood pressure that was causing the issue. Because if I had delayed, that would have been even worse going to the doctor." So she was like, and I told her, I said, "Thank you, because you saved my life, literally here. You saved my life." Because if I hadn't gone, who knows what have happened? What would have happened? I would have done permanent damage to my eyes. I might have died. Like I might have gone into a diabetic coma and died. Like that's entirely possible, especially if it goes unchecked. not knowing what's going on with your blood sugar and you know you're diabetic, yeah, that's bad. Like, you could die from that easily. Because as my brother pointed out, when your blood sugar is high like that, your brain is literally cooking. So you can't do that. Like, it affects a lot of things. You could do permanent organ damage to like a million different things in your body. So yeah, that going and getting that checked was the smartest thing I could have done. So yeah, I was super super happy that, you know, she had told me. She was like, and I told her when I was sitting there, I texted her and told her, yeah, something's wrong here, and I'm pretty sure it's my blood sugar because they told me to come here and they said my blood sugar was super high. So yeah, appreciate the advice. So and I keep her up to date on my progress and, you know, getting the numbers down, and, you know, and also I've noticed too, my blood pressure has not been high. I'm also on blood pressure medication, and I'm also on a water pill in addition to the metformin. Yeah, I take this 3-pill cocktail every day, and I have to take that metformin twice a day. So yeah, but my supervisor, so I tell her this, and she just kind of gives me this look like, because it was end of the month, and end of the month for accountants is bad because we have a month we have to. I mean, every end of the month is important. We have to have all our stuff together, and we have to have people billed so that they can pay their bills on time and get us our money, okay? And so that we can have them their money, okay? So end of the month is always crucial. My thing was, you act as if I wanted to be sick at the end of the month, okay? Who wants to be in the hospital when they can be at their job doing their work, okay? Also, you act as if I want to be sick. When I'm sick, I don't do my best work. My work does not turn out very well. I have more errors. I don't feel like being there. I'm already don't feel like being there, but you know, like, I'm like, I feel terrible and I don't do my best work. So what would make you think I want to be here in the hospital and not at work, doing my job and getting paid to do what I'm supposed to be getting paid to do? Like, what? So, but the way she acted, it was like I was inconveniencing her somehow, number one. And number two, that I wanted to be in the hospital. And what bothered me the most, it was the implication that Black people aren't supposed to be sick. Because, you know, we don't get sick like normal people. We just superhuman, apparently. And we don't get sick like normal people. And I have issues. Like, I had issues before the diabetes diagnosis. I have an extremely sensitive stomach, okay? Because of food poisoning like 20 years ago. But it did permanent damage to my stomach. So I have issues. I frequently do not, I can't digest certain things, and it limits what I can eat in addition to this diabetes. So I'm gonna lose weight one way or the other. I mean, that's just obvious. But this is my problem. It's like, you're the only person who can get sick. And I'm like, listen, I understand you have a chronic disease and you have a chronic pain issue. Okay, I get that. I'm very sympathetic to that because I know what that's like. Okay, I know. So I'm super sympathetic to it. But I'm least sympathetic when you are not sympathetic to me. And you act like you're doing me some favor by being sympathetic. You're not doing me any favors. So, but apparently, she came across as being extremely obnoxious with that. But according to other people, my friend who told me to go to the hospital in the first place, was like, yeah, she came up to me and she was like, thank you for telling her to go to the doctor and making her go, because I was super worried about her and I thought something was wrong. And, you know, I didn't want to sound like I was trying to mother her, but I'm like, but you acted like it was a problem that I was missing work to go to the hospital, for crying out loud. Like, Like, I couldn't tell that you was all that damn worried because you acted like it was a problem that I was missing work at the end of the month. Like, I picked the end of the month to develop diabetes on purpose. Like, what the world? Oh, I was like, I don't understand what's going on there, but I do, but I don't. I I like her, but sometimes it's like, what the fuck? So, and my other friend at work, she said she came to her and was like, thank you for keeping up with her and making sure she's doing stuff and, that she's all right. And I'm like, but she couldn't come to me and tell me this though? Okay, gotcha. Right. So, I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. I do know, but it's so ridiculous that it just annoys me. So, anyway, so then, oh, and also, so, I had posted and told everybody what was going on, and Brandon had posted and said, we're at the ER, and I'm really worried about her. We had a health scare, and, I'm super worried about my wife, who we knew something was going on, but I didn't know exactly what. So he was like, he had posted. So apparently, well, all of his family had posted and was like, oh my God, something's wrong, and find out what's going on and get back to us, make sure she's okay. And, she's, this is bad. We're worried about her. And I was like, y'all, that's so, let me tell you something about his folks. I love his people. I love his people. Mama side included. Mama side is great too. Nah, I don't know. His uncle on his mama side, he kind of sometimes, but they're good people. I like them. They all right. They're all right. His mom has been keeping up with me and making sure, I'm all right. And like, I called her last night, as a matter of fact, to give her, I checked in with her and told her, I done got them numbers down, honey. We are on point with this now. We done made progress. That's only been a week and a half since diagnosis. So I told her, I said, yeah, I'm getting it together. I done got my numbers down. And cause she too is diabetic. So she was telling me, she was like, this is what you should expect, and keeping up. But she has been fantastic. I've talked to her and she calls and checks up on me, and, so I'm like, that's awesome. I love his mom anyway. Sometimes she irks my nerves, but much like him, they irk my nerves, but I love them. They're good people. They're very good people, and they're exceptionally sweet. So I can kind of tolerate it, even though sometimes I just want to be like, what are you doing? But she is very good to me. She's very good. I'm so thankful, incredibly thankful, that I have a mother-in-law now who is not a jackass. A complete and utter jackass, okay? Because the first one was a hypocrite and a jackass. And I wanted to be like, are you serious right now? So yeah, she's really cool. And I love her. I do. I love her to death. I call her mama. So, and y'all know how I feel about my mom. So, I call her mama. And his dad, I call him Pop Pop, because I'm just like, I can't really call you dad too much, because you already got 2 daughters. That's one thing. You already got 2 daughters. And 2, I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I couldn't call him dad. Like, I don't get that feeling that he would be okay with that. Well, I don't think he cares one way or the other. I really don't think he cares one way or the other. As a matter of fact, he said he doesn't really mind what I call him. It's up to me, whatever I want to call him. So I decided on Pop Pop. Also because my dad is still alive. So I'm like, yeah, I have to call you something to differentiate between my dad and you. But yeah, he's really super, super nice. Very quiet, doesn't do a whole lot of talking. But he can cut loose and have fun. So, but no, he's really, 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 really sweet, man, and he's really nice and super friendly. And was immediately was like, I like you, and I was like, okay, okay. I was super nervous to meet him. And I've done a video, you guys. I did this like 3 years ago. I did a video. I want to say it's been. Oh, that might have been 4 years ago. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it was 4 years ago. I did a video 4 years ago about meeting his dad for the first time. And since then, like, I mean, I've met the man a million times by this point, and I've stayed at their house, and, his dad is really cool. So, like, and he's super supportive of both of us. And I'm like, I appreciate that. Like I said, my father-in-law could be awful. And he's not. He's not. He could be awful like the first one was. The first one was the biggest wimp in the world and let his wife treat him like crap. And then was like, oh, my wife said it's time for me to come back home. I'm just going to come back home. I'm like, and that's why your son gets the brunt of the foolishness now. I didn't dislike the man one way or the other, but the man was a wimp. I'm not even gonna lie. I was just like, I wouldn't let my wife treat me like that. To be quite honest, my wife came in here with this bullshit and foolishness. I'd be like, woman, if you don't go sit your ass down, go sit your dollar ass down before I make change, like Nino Brown say. Go sit down. Like, go sit down. She was ridiculous. Anyway, but yeah, my mother and father-in-law now, they're great. They're great people. And I'm very pleased to be marrying into their families, because I could always do worse, and I already have. So this here is the step up in terms of class and dignity and decency. Yeah. With him, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. With the rest of his family, I'm super happy with them, and they're super great people. I really like them. The cousins are all great. The cousins are a trip. Like, they remind me of my own cousins. Let's put it that way. They remind me of my own cousins. And so, like, I try not to be like that overeager person who's like, yay, people. I really like his cousins though. All of them are really, really nice people. I am happy to see them every time I see them. Like, I'm not like with the first husband where I'm just like, yeah, I don't really like your cousins. Not that much. Like, out of all of his cousins, I like one. And she was kind of strange. She's kind of strange. But I liked her though. She was really nice to me. And she was really cool. And I was like, like, just super cool. But yeah, all of the rest of them was kind of like, yeah, no. So but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really like his family. Like, I really like them. It's been super easy. His sisters are interesting. So, his youngest sister is really cool. I really like her. She's super nice, down to earth, level-headed. She's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Like, I'm like, what? How? How is this child allowed to be this gorgeous? And I don't want to seem like creepy sister-in-law, so but no, his sister's absolutely gorgeous. She's super sweet, and like every time I see her, I'm just like, wow. She's really nice. And when I met her, she was like, oh my God, he's talked about you so much and so happy to meet you. And it was as if I had known her my whole life. And then there was the other sister. Okay. So, you know what? I done been around the block long enough to know when somebody doesn't like me. Okay. Which ain't a surprise. You either really like me or you don't. It's not a maybe kind of sort of. I'm on the fence about how I feel about Lindsay. Yeah, no. You either really like me or you do not like me whatsoever. And you probably think I'm weird as shit. And you don't like me because I'm going to tell you to your face that you're a dumb fuck. Okay? And I don't associate with you. Like, I'm just going to flat out tell you, I'm not finna associate with you. I ain't fucking with you, okay? Because you done something that has told me you ain't about shit, okay? From the beginning. Like, it's, you're not gonna like me because I'm not gonna bite my tongue when I tell you why I don't like you, okay? For some reason, when I met her, it was like, I mean, she barely... Matter of fact, just to give you a dichotomy between the two sisters. The youngest sister gave me a hug, just jumped in my arm. I was like, yay, youngest sister is awesome. She gave me a hug and was like, it's so good to meet you. I'm so happy to meet you finally. He's talked about you this whole time. And I'm happy that he's happy. And I mean, like, every time I see her, it's wonderful. The other sister, when I met her, it was like, oh, it's you. I'm like, damn, I just met you like 30 seconds before. What? Like, she wouldn't even, she didn't give me a hug, which, okay, fine. You might not be a hugging type person. I got that. That's cool. I'm not really a hugging type person, but if you offer a hug, I'll take it. Like, I'm not going to be rude and be like, no, I'm not hugging you. Okay? So I get you might not be a hugging person. But it was like I had the plague, basically. She kind of sort of shook my hand, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, damn. Okay. And then when I met her, she literally looked me up and down and was like, oh. And I'm like, hold on. First of all, you don't know me. Second of all, you ain't never met me until now. You need to fix your face. Fix your face and grow up. Like, stop it. So, it gets better. So, that was our first meeting. Right there, I knew I wasn't going. Yeah, nah, probably not. I'm probably not fucking with you because you already you done started off on the wrong foot. Okay. So, after that, it was like, I'm trying to think. It was like, we got home that day because we went to a barbecue. They had a barbecue for, I want to say the 4th of July. Yeah, it was the 4th of July. They had a barbecue for the 4th of July. And we were there. And I remember we went back to Spartanburg, which is where they are from. Which that's important too. We're gonna get into why that's important. They went to they were in Spartanburg. So we drove to Spartanburg and then we drove back home that night. And I met all of the other cousins that day. All right. And all of the other cousins, super awesome. They were great. I really liked them. And I knew I was going to like them as soon as I met them. Like, it was one of those things where I was like, I dig you. I dig you. You are really cool. Like, wow. I've never been that excited about meeting people who I dig. Like, we have the same ideas and values and we like the same things and like they're older than he is. A lot of them are older than he is. So they're much more, they're grown-ups, and they got grown folks ideas. They like grown folks things, but they still like things that I would like too, in addition to grown up things. So that's why I'm just like, yeah. I mean, like, I really like you guys. Really like them from the beginning, all of them. And so a lot of them have children. So it's like there's children here. So I kind of bonded with the kids too. They're really awesome. I really like their kids. They're well-behaved kids. They're very well-behaved kids. And they're super smart, and all of them are into things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're little people, and I like these little people. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, when we get married, if and when we get married, the kids will have people that they can relate to on my side of the family. They can talk to them. They're going to be people that are their own age. Because I'm sitting there thinking, I want these kids at my wedding. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get these kids involved in this wedding. And so I actually recently, we had gone up for New Year's, and I saw the kids, and I was like, so let me ask your mama and daddy, can you be involved in this wedding? So they've all been super excited, and as a matter of fact, all of the male cousins are going to be in our wedding. So that's why I'm just like, you know what? I really like y'all. Like, I do. I love them to death. But when I met everybody, and then I met the other sister, it was like, what in the world? Like, what are we dealing with here? We got really awesome people over here. They cool. They're really cool, and they're great, decent people. Then we got these ones right here. We got this one right here who looking at me like, ew. I'm like, excuse me? Fix your face. Like, grow up. Like, what is going on here? It took me a while to figure it out, and then I understood the dynamics there. And then it made a lot more sense. But at the same time, I'm like, but hold on though. This is your brother. Now, I know damn good and well, if my brother, who is a little bit older, and by a little bit, I mean a lot, if my brother is a lot older than me, and my brother, he's a little late in life with certain things, he's a late bloomer. He really is. He's a late bloomer. But I know if my brother was a late bloomer and he brought home this girl who is clearly in love with him, clearly, okay, they're living together, they're obviously serious, okay, and she seems to be great for him. She is smart. She got a job. She out here doing everything she can to take care of herself and take care of him and make sure he's happy. And he obviously makes her happy, and she obviously makes him happy. The first thing I'd have been like, yes. Girl, yes. Welcome to the damn family. You know what? Come on in here, girl. Get you a plate and sit down and let's talk. What's going on with you? That would be me, okay? And as a matter of fact, my brother has a girlfriend, okay? He done had this girlfriend, and I met her finally earlier in the year. I met her, and she seems super nice. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I got this vibe like, oh my God, I didn't know I was going to meet your sister type of, I'm like, oh, okay. You ain't got, listen, I ain't that special, okay? Trust me, I ain't that special. I'm alright. So, it's cool. Don't feel like, you gotta be nervous around me or whatever. Girl, no. So, but I met her, and she makes him happy. She makes him happy, and that is the best thing I could ever want for him, is that he's happy. He done been through some shit, okay? So, I'm like, this is the happiest he has been in a long time. You know what? More power to her, okay? She makes him happy. That's all I care about. That is literally all I care about. So that's why I'm sitting there looking at his sister like, something wrong with you. Because if my brother came to me and said, this is my girlfriend, this is who I've been with her for 2 years at this point. I'm talking about marrying this girl. I live with her right now, but I'm talking about marrying this girl. You know what? I'm going to be all on that like white on rice. Girl, come on in here and get you a plate. How you doing? Trying nice to meet you. Sit on down. Let's talk. What's going on? Oh, you graduated from the same college I went to too? What? Hey, come on, girl. Like, what? You know what? You know what? Yeah, she'd be tired of me at this point because I sure would be like, how are you doing? I'd be calling her every day. Girl, how you doing? You doing all right? I'd at least be checking in with her once a week. Girl, you doing all right? What's going on? How's the wedding planning going? You need some help? Listen, I just got married. Here's some tips. Do you need some tips? Because I got tips. Like, I can suggest you some caterers. I can suggest you dress places. Oh, you getting your dress made? Oh, okay. Well, let me know what's up. Let me come see when you get the dress made. Like, I would be the main one up in here. Let me help you plan. Not like that. So, you know what? I can't falter though. You're not going to like everybody. You're not going to get along with everybody. So, fine. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But what I had a problem with was I met you the first time and you showed your ass from the beginning. That's where I have a problem. I'm like, you don't even know me. Like, and you already had judgment going. Okay, so right there, I ain't fucking with you because I don't like that. I don't like that in people at all, especially people I don't damn know. Okay, so I said, fine, whatever. But it gets worse. So I let it go. We came back home. I didn't think too much about it. And as a matter of fact, I didn't mention it to him what had happened. Because, of course, he wasn't paying attention. He was standing there, but he wasn't paying attention when all this went down. It wasn't until I took a picture. This is important. I took a picture of him and his dad in his grandmother's kitchen. Because we were at his grandmama's house. So I took a picture of the two of them. And I had captioned it. I said, Brandon, I said, my boyfriend and his fine father. Okay, we're going to break this down because apparently there was a problem with this. First of all, the man is good looking for his age. He in his mid-60s. Okay, that man looked like he ain't no older than 35. Okay, he got great genes. Let's put it that way. His genetic structure is fantastic because none of these people look their age. Like, none of them look their age. The only thing that gives them away is the gray hair. That's it. These people look like they ain't a day over 40 at best. Okay? So I'm like, first of all, the man's good looking. Okay? And yes, he can be good looking. And I can say he's good looking. You know why? Because it's free speech. Okay? And I can acknowledge if somebody look good. Look, I'm going to tell you now, my mother-in-law looks very good for her age. She's in her 60s. She's in her mid-60s. She don't look a day over 50. Matter of fact, I give her 45. I swore that woman was not in her 60s. I was like, wait a minute. You're not in your 60s. You can't be in your 60s. There's no way. But then I thought about it. His mother went to school with one of my uncles. Okay. My uncle would be in his 60s at this point if he were still alive. He would be in his 60s. Okay. He wasn't but like 2 or 3 years younger than my mama. Okay. My mama would be in her late 60s at this point. So the fact that she don't look a day over 45, come on now. So I'm like, these people got great genes on both. He got great genes on both sides of his family. And he's a good looking dude himself. Listen, y'all done seen Brandon. Brandon fine as hell. Okay, I ain't even gonna lie, he fine as hell. And all his cousins are good looking people. His aunts and uncles are good looking people, which, by the way, they some good folks too. I really like his aunts and uncles too. I really like his aunts and uncles. All of them. I have met almost, as a matter of fact, I have met all of them. I've met all of them on his daddy's side and on his mama's side. But I met everybody on his daddy's side, his daddy's brothers and sisters, and they're all really phenomenal people. Phenomenal, great people, successful, super nice, very nice, very, very nice. But they're good looking folk too, and they all don't look their age either. So that's I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? These people look good for their age. So if somebody pay them a compliment and say they fine, you better go sit, girl, bye. Go sit down. That was number one. And then apparently we had a problem with me saying this on a picture that I took and put on my Facebook. I said, first of all, what you not finna do is come on my shit and tell me what I'm not gonna do. No. What you not gonna do is come on my shit and act like you run some show here. Girl, sit down. Third, I ain't one of your little friends, okay? Let me go and put this out here like I'm somebody mama. I ain't one of your little friends. You're not gonna talk to me any old kind of way. Then you're not gonna smile in my face and act like you didn't say these things about me, okay? You implied that I'm hot in the pants for your daddy. You implied that apparently there's something wrong with me because I'm interested in your brother. And by interested, I mean, planning to marry the man. Then you gonna sit up here and act like you was doing me some kind of favor by even talking to me. That ain't gonna beat you in the first place. Because you sounded crazy from the beginning. Like, you sound like you got some issues from the beginning. No, okay, just stop. Just stop it. Oh, and so then I realized after he and I sat down and talked about things, because he told me what was said, and he lit into her for that. So, and I talked to his father after that, and I said, let me go on and clear the air right now. Because I called him, I said, fine father-in-law. Okay. So then there was an issue with the fact that I called him my father-in-law. I said, first of all, what you're not going to do is sit up here and tell me what I'm going to call somebody who I am the one who has the relationship with this person. Okay. I am the one who need to be worried about what I'm calling him and what I'm not calling him. Okay. He also needs to be worried about what it is I'm calling him and not calling him. But you ain't got nothing to do with this. You ain't even got a dog in the fight. That's number one. Number two, I'll call him whatever I want to call him that is within reasonable grounds and is appropriate for the type of relationship that he and I have. It is a father-in-law to daughter-in-law, okay? Yes, I realize my name ain't on no piece of paper with Brandon's. I get it, okay? I get that. But last time I checked, I'm the one who writes checks out in here with the last name that I have, okay? And it ain't the same as his. I get that part. But what I need you to do is stay in your lane, mind your business, and worry about what's going on in your marriage, okay? Because what's happening in mine ain't got nothing to do with what's going on in yours. And ain't got nothing to do with you, okay? I'm not married to you. That was my whole point. I was like, am I married to you? No. So why are you over here worried about whether or not I'm signing my last name with his name or not? What difference does it make? So me and his father had a little chat about that. And I told him, I said, that is when I told him, I said, listen, I am intending to marry Brandon. He and I have already talked about marriage. It has been pretty much decided whenever he asks, the answer is yes. Okay. Because at that point we hadn't gotten engaged yet. We hadn't. We didn't get engaged until December of that year. When all this happened, it was July. So I'm like, he and I have already established that we're going to get married. It's a matter of when, not if. Okay. So feel like I don't want to call you constantly my boyfriend's father, okay? Like, you might as well just be whatever I'm going to call you. Whether or not I call you the judge, or if I call you Pop, if I call you father-in-law, if I say my dad-in-law, my dad, whatever. It is meant as a sign of respect. It is not meant to be a sign of disrespect. And he completely understood what I was trying to say. So if he don't have a problem with it, Brandon ain't got a problem with it, what you doing? And why are you involved in this? You know what? I ain't had time. I don't have time. Ain't got time. I was just like, you know what? Go sit down. Because nobody asked you in the first damn place. Then I realized after we had all this talk and me and Brandon sat down and talked about this, I realized who was actually pulling the strings behind the scenes. See, that's why you got to pay attention to the man behind the curtain, because when you pay attention to the man behind the curtain, you find out who actually running things and who done set things in motion. So it wasn't, we narrowed down, because my thing was, now who was it that saw this picture and complained? Who was it? So I said, well, we know she ain't the brains of this operation right now. She not the brains of the operation. You can cut off that head, and there's still another head somewhere controlling the strings. So let's narrow it down. Who would have a problem with me saying that your daddy was fine? Who was it? Who was it? So we narrowed it down. We eliminated some possible suspects, and we came to one conclusion. It seems that somebody's wife was upset because all of a sudden, here come this new fresh thing on the scene. Who talking about her husband fine? I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Are you serious right now? Okay. Not only do I not find the man attractive enough to want to jump into his pants, why would that man ever why? Even if his brains were scrambled, God forbid, even if the man's brains were scrambled, why in the shit would he go and look at his daughter-in-law? Why? Are we that damn insecure that we got to sit up here and think that daughter-in-law is a possible candidate to come right on in here and snatch up what you got? Do we really think that? Do we really think that? That is the dumbest thing I have possibly heard in a long time. Not only do I not feel that way about the man, I mean, he's good looking and he's successful, he's smart, but he also the man daddy. Like, what? The man is old enough to be my dad, okay? Brandon and I aren't that far apart in age. We aren't. We're 2.5 years apart in age. So that man old enough to be my daddy. As a matter of fact, he and my dad are the same age. Come on, man. Are you serious? Like, and I like an older gentleman. Don't get me wrong. I like an older man. I like him old. I do. I like an older gentleman. I like gray hair. I like wisdom, experience. I like that sort of thing. But what we not gonna do is try to get into the pants of our father-in-law. That's craziness on top of craziness. And now every time I see that man and his wife, I'm just like, like, I literally just make that face. Internally, I'm screaming because I'm just like, where are we getting this shit from? Where are we getting this shit from? It does not make sense. And you know what that tells me about you? That tells me you're super insecure. You worried about shit you don't need to be worried about because there ain't nothing there. Like, I'm like, we got this much time on our hands. We could be doing other things, okay? Like, not worrying about that shit and trying to figure out what the hell wrong with our daughter over here who got apparently middle child syndrome, because she got issues. Like, so we figured out she was out here pulling the strings and putting the child up to this foolishness. And I'm like, y'all got other shit you need to be worried about. Don't be worried about me. I ain't your problem. Okay? I am the least of your problems. I can't. Some people really, and I was offended because it also makes me seem like I'm just fast. That's exactly what it makes it seem like I'm fast. And then had the nerve to turn around and smile in my face. That's what really pissed me off. I told Brandon, I said, okay, what's not going to happen is we're not going to these people's house that often. I go ahead and tell you that now. You best go on and see your daddy when you can see your daddy, because I'm not going with you that often. I don't want to be in somebody's house who's going to sit up and smile in my face and swear I'm panting behind their husband. Like, what? And then you going to sit up here and act like you didn't tell somebody to go and say these ridiculous, stupid things. Like, I made that face like, you got to be kidding me. So I said, you know what? We gonna see how this play out. So after that, I didn't have nothing else to say. I literally didn't have anything else to say to her. I ain't had nothing else to say. Like, what you want me to say? You called me loose. And you stereotyped me and judged me before you even got to know me. So now when I see you, I'ma act like I don't know you, and I ain't never met you a day in my damn life. I don't want to talk to you either. So it gets even better. So at her wedding, at the sister's wedding that I was forced to attend, I really didn't want to go, but I had to kind of go. I couldn't very well not show up. That's kind of not going to work. So for the sake of being nice, I just was like, okay, fine. I'm going to go. We're going to be nice. We're not going to cause a scene, even though we should. And I didn't. So I went to the wedding. Apparently, she said hello to me. I didn't even see her. Wasn't paying her no attention. To be quite honest, as a matter of fact, the whole time I found me something to eat. Okay, I got me something to eat, and I went and sat my ass down with one of the cousins, and we were sitting in there talking. And I was on my phone because I really didn't want to be bothered with the proceeding. I danced a little bit with Brandon, and I had some alcohol, and then I went to the after party. I'm trying to think what happened at I had some more to eat at the after party. I toasted them, and then we went on back to our room because I was just like, yeah, no. So, I had a good time. And then the next day it was his birthday. So they had a thing for him at brunch, and me and the other sister had coordinated on that. And I said, well, let's have something for, I said, well, we can do it since everybody gonna be there anyway. Let's have a brunch, because she was wanting ideas. What could we do for Brandon since we were there? And I said, well, we'll do something. Let's do a brunch, because we're gonna be staying at the Marriott. The Marriott has Sunday morning brunch, and we could have breakfast. And so she went and got a cake, and which was lovely. It was a nice cake. And I got some balloons and stuff like that. So it was really, really, really nice. It was nice. But I got the distinct impression that somebody was just like, well, why we gotta go through all of this? Like, girl, if you don't go sit down, go on your honeymoon and be quiet. So I was like, go sit down. Nobody think about you. Listen, the spotlight was on you last night. Okay. Like, he can have some. It is his birthday. It's not like we just pull this out of thin air. So yeah. So that was then. So then after that, so she gets pregnant almost immediately after she gets married. which is important because the next March was his uncle's birthday, and they had a party in Spartanburg. So we went to this party, and it was a nice little family gathering. I thought it was really sweet that they did that for him, and they had stuff, they had food, and they had cooked a lot of stuff. It was really nice. It was cold as the devil, but it was nice. In Spartanburg. It was cold. I remember that it was super cold because it snowed the next day. In Spartanburg. So I said, well, we'll go to the party. It'll be super nice. I'd already guessed that she was pregnant. She apparently said hello to me when they left, and I vaguely remember saying hello and going on about my business. I just was like, okay, why are you talking to me? It's like, why is it that the only time I see you is when we in Spartanburg, and we live 15 minutes from each other in Columbia? At the time, we did. I was like, oh, okay, bye. So then he said that he and her had sat down and had a talk, and that they wanted to have dinner. They wanted to get together and have dinner, and I'm like, why? Talking about she want me to come over to dinner. Why? No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want me to come to dinner with you, because the whole time I'm just gonna be sitting there looking at you like, why are we here? When are we leaving? Like, I really don't even want to be in your house. I don't like you. Like, I don't like you. You made absolutely no effort to get to know me. And on top of that, you're judgmental. Something is wrong with you. And you have an issue with not being the center of attention. I do not like you. So I don't want to come to your house at all. So then, I don't know. After that, it was just like, I just don't be bothered with them. I don't be bothered with her or her mama, to be quite honest. Which this last New Year's, like 2 months ago, New Year's, we went up there because his aunt and uncle, one of his aunts and uncles, they've been married like 50 years. And so they had a 50th anniversary party on New Year's Eve, and it was really nice. It was a really nice party. And I had a lot of fun. I went and danced, and we had oh my gosh, they had food, and oh my gosh, the food was fantastic. It's some kind of club there, like event center, that I used to live in Spartanburg. And this is why this is important, and I said I was going to get to it. I used to live in Spartanburg. When I was married the first time, I lived there for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And while I was there, I met my first husband, and we eloped while I was living there. So I kind of know a little bit of the area because I lived there long enough to get to learn it a little bit. I used to work for the newspaper there, and so I kind of knew the area. So where his grandmother's house is, I lived around the corner from there. My apartment was on the same road that you would take to get to that house. And so I was telling when I met his dad, and he said, oh yeah, we're from Spartanburg. And I said, oh really? I used to live in Spartanburg. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I lived off of Vanderbilt Lane there, which is off of the main street, W.O.E.Z.L. Boulevard. And he was like, really? Yeah, he was like, my parents' house is around the corner from there. And I was like, oh my gosh. And his dad lives not that far from where my first husband and I, went on our first date. We went to dinner at this place called Shogun. It's a Japanese steakhouse, and it's on WOEZL. It actually turns into Greenville Highway at that point, but we went there for our first date. And so I was telling them, I said, yeah, I lived off of the main road, and I worked for the paper there. So I kind of know, certain things about Spartanburg, and, I lived there, and it wasn't the most pleasant experience, but it was, for me, I just moved out on my own. I was young. So yeah, I mean it was great for a young person to live there and get to learn, how things worked on your own. Um so yeah, it was an experience. But yeah, we had this party. They had this party at this place I had never been to. I didn't even know it was back up in there. As long as I had lived there, I'd never gone back up in this area. So, and it was not that far from the mall where my ex-husband used to work. So, yeah, it was interesting. The party was really nice. Everybody had seemed to have a really good time, and there was a lot of people out there dancing. I was like, oh, okay, you're out there getting it. We left the party early because I was tired. I've been up all day long. So, yeah, it was a good party though. I really liked it. And I was super happy for his aunt and his uncle. They're really nice people, and um they're super super nice. And so I got them. I went and I picked it out because I said this is it's probably very symbolic, and it works for them. I got them like an infinity. It was a metal sculpture, and it was an infinity piece, and it worked really well, and it was gold. And I said, oh, this would be perfect for them. And so we got them a gift, and his other aunt and uncle, um, his uncle he's an artist, and he's a good artist too. He's really, really, really good. He wound up doing. They moved into a brand new house. Ooh, and this house is fancy. It's a fancy, gorgeous house, and I was super excited for them. Because it's a nice house and they're not that far from his dad. So I was like, oh, that'll be great. Y'all can see each other a little bit more, and you know, you can visit a little bit more often and see each other. So but this house is gorgeous. So I said, well, let's get them a nice little housewarming gift. And I said, well, what do you get an artist though? I mean, what do you get an artist? Like, I was kind of weary about just buying any old random housewarming gift because, I mean, what do you get them? So I wound up getting them, and Brandon approved. He thought it was a really nice gift. It was a candle holder, but it was a sculpture type of candle holder. And so, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And he put it in a room, um, and it went perfectly in the room. It set the room off just really nicely. So I was super happy that both of his aunts and uncles really liked their gifts, and because I was like, I wanted to do something really nice because they have been super nice from the beginning. Um but yeah, no, I family dynamics is kind of weird there, but I mean, like I said, 99% of the family is super great. They're really nice people. They're pretty awesome. Like, I want them to be involved in, and keep up with, and they do. They keep up with us. They do keep up with us. So I really I like them. I really like them. But yeah, the sister is just really weird and obnoxious. So I was like, whatever. So I just kind of, but to her credit, she never said anything to me specifically, like to my face or whatever, but, apparently she was worried about me. She saw the thing that he had posted on Facebook when we went to the hospital. And so she apparently called and asked, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I'm like, but you couldn't talk to me on Facebook and ask me what was going on? Because, yeah, that was weird. Um, but, pretty much that's everything that's going on with me. Oh, the thing about my dad. So, all right, the short version is, so my dad decides, yeah, so my dad sends me a message. My dad, you guys knew, and I had said this in July. I had talked about the reason why I wasn't talking to my dad. And I said, I don't want to talk to him. I really don't want to talk to him. I have no need to talk to him. I hadn't talked to him in 2 years. Well, apparently he went in the hospital with an ulcer in like February of last year. And the girlfriend ran and called, and she called me. She went to the next door neighbor on the other side of me, because you guys know my dad lives next door to me, in my neighbor's house. She went to the next door neighbor and told him, oh yeah, he went to the hospital. He had an ulcer. Well, he apparently broke up with that girlfriend. That was the girlfriend that he had when he was still married to my mama, before she died. Yeah, that girlfriend. So he broke up with that one. Okay. And apparently he had called while he was in the hospital and left me a message. Well, I have a feature on my phone, because I have an iPhone 7 that I talked about getting for my birthday. I had an iPhone 5C before that. So I had the feature set on my phone where you can block people from calling you, and you can send it directly to some space somewhere where you don't even see it. And you just don't see it. So, and you don't get their phone messages. You don't even see when they call at all. So he had called and left me a message and was like, I'm in the hospital. I have an ulcer. I've been thinking, and I miss you, and I'm sorry, I was wrong. And so he did all this apologizing, because he was awful to me. He was absolutely awful. He and I got into it, and I told him, like I told y'all in my previous video, don't come across this yard, because I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want nothing to do with you, because you the damn devil. You are the devil. So I said, like Ply said, I ain't finna argue with you. Ain't getting paid to argue with you. So I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see you. So I didn't know I had this message until June, when I went to decommission my phone and discovered there was a message in there from him. So I said, well, I guess I had to think about that for a little bit before I wanted to get involved in that foolishness again. Because like my friend liked to say, some folks just like to juggle chainsaws while they on fire. Okay? And that would be my father. He would be the prime example. The next example is my ex-husband, who he was actually talking about when he said that statement. So I said, well, okay. So I had thought about it, and I got a little bit of counsel from one of my cousins. And I said, well, fine. I guess I'll go over there and talk to him, find out what's going on. So I went over there. It was in August, I think it was. I went over there and I said, I heard your black ass thought you was dying. And he was like, oh, baby girl came to see me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So we talked. And I said, yes, you were wrong. You were very wrong. See, I can't help it because your wife knew the kind of person she was dealing with. She knew exactly who you were dealing with. And she knew exactly what you was going to do. And your foolishness. So I can't help it that she knew you very well enough to know you was going to fuck things up. Okay? We all know you was going to fuck it up. It was just a matter of when. Okay? Not if. But I can, because you have apologized, I can let it go. I can let it go. But don't think for a minute I don't remember who I'm dealing with and who I came from. Okay? And what I was taught along the way. Because over 36 years, I have learned that your people ain't always your people. And they ain't always for you or about you. Okay? And this is what I have to tell Brandon. Your people ain't always going to be about you. Your people, the majority of your people are going to be about you because they care about you and they're worried about you and they love you and they care about you. But some of your people ain't always going to be about you, okay? And they never were from the beginning. So take that as you will. So that's why I told him, I said, you always You look out for yourself. But you don't sit up here and be relying upon people to validate you or to make you feel like you are worth it, because you are always going to be worth it. You got to know that about yourself. And you got to know that you are well worth the trouble and the effort it takes to be involved in your life. And if they don't want to put the effort forward to be involved in your life, then you don't fucks with them. That's just as simple as it is. You don't. If they can't be supportive of you, then you don't fool with them. Because they ain't about you. And they ain't shit for that. And they know they ain't shit for that. But they'll try to justify it in some whatever way that makes them feel like, they're okay. So, no, sir. We will not ever entertain that bullshit. Ever. Do you understand me? We will never be dependent upon somebody taking care. No, that's not going to work. So, he and I talked about that. And so, I told him, I said, well, we keeping that man at arm's length because he ain't never been about shit and he ain't about shit, okay? Just go on and accept that and you will be better off. So, I see him every so often and I talk to him. I keep up with him a little bit. And I always tell Brandon, go over there and make sure your father-in-law ain't dead, please, in this house. Well, it turns out Daddy got a new girlfriend. Daddy girlfriend is the mother of our other next door neighbor on his side. So I said, oh, okay. So I met the girlfriend the other day, which just happened to be his birthday. I said, well, let me go on here. Let me go on and say happy birthday. Since I'm out here and I'm getting ready to go in the house, let me go on and he home. Let me go on over there and say happy birthday. So I met the girlfriend. The girlfriend is interesting. She's from Mississippi. Right. So that right there. So, and she said, oh, you look like your daddy. You look just like your daddy. And I said, I look just like my mother. She apparently hadn't seen a picture of my mama. But I said, oh, I look just like my mama. Make no mistake. So but she know about my mama. She know. And she know where my mama is and what's going on there. So so I get this text message at work. This is how you know. This is why you don't ever forget. You don't ever forget about how folks really is. You don't forget about how folks are. You don't. Because they're going to show their true colors. So, a couple days ago, I get a text message while I'm at work that says, dearest daughter, I need $5,000 in my account by Friday because I ain't got enough money to live on for the rest of my life. And the first thing I thought to myself was, now why did you send me this text message? What made you think that I was going to do that? What made you think that? Oh, because you thought I had money. Because you thought that because mama had left me this money, I was going to have some money to give you to help you. Well, you see, here's the thing. I don't have any money that I can give you. I don't have $5,000. Ain't got no money. Really, I don't have any money. I had money that mama did give me. But I don't have $5,000 to give to you. Okay, that's number one. Second of all, I don't have $5,000, period. I have money, but I ain't got $5,000. 3, the money that I do have, that's tied up in the school and it's tied up into this house. This glorious house that I'm sitting in right now. It's tied up into those two things. Meaning, I got to have money just in case I got to go replace my dryer and I got to replace my refrigerator. That's about $700 right there. I don't have money to give to people. I just had to borrow some money. I had to use some money to get a new toilet. I used my own money to get the toilet, but I had to get them pipes fixed out there too. Had to borrow money to do that. Okay. So I don't have any money to give you. And even if I did have the money, I ain't giving it to you. Because you ain't shit. And I remember how when you had money, you wasn't talking about giving it to your daughter who needed it for, school. I remember when that happened. And let me tell you something. My mama said, your daddy ain't gonna know how to, he ain't gonna act right. She said that. He ain't gonna act right. So be prepared for the eventuality that when I leave you this money, all of a sudden, he gonna come calling. And sure enough, it just took 2 years because I didn't talk to him for 2 years. My thing is, what you did with all your money? You getting retirement. You getting, because he retired. So he gets his monthly retirement from the state of South Carolina. He gets his annuity from his third wife's death. Okay. She has her Social Security annuity. He gets that every month. That ain't no small chunk of change. Okay. Then he gets his Army pension. Because he gets that. So I'm like, bruh, what you doing? Like, what are we doing? That we don't have enough money. But you see, it comes from years of not saving your money, not managing your money right. You out here running around buying golf clubs, golf stuff, golf tournaments, new shoes. You out here buying sneakers every other payday. When you know damn good well you can't afford that. And I'm like, and now you got to pay rent to Mr. Barney, who lived next door, whose house you renting. So how does your problem get to be my problem again? It's not my problem. So no, I can't help you. I really can't help you. And I told him, I can't help you. I'm sorry. My money is tied up into school and this house. School for the foreseeable future. And even then, I got to figure out how I'm going to pay back some of the money. Because some of it I am going to have to pay back. So that's why I'm sitting there looking at him like, what you want me to do? Oh, you thought because I had a little bit of money from my mama that I was going to give you $5,000? Bruh, I ain't had $5,000 in my name in quite some time. Oh, and I also got a car payment out here. So, what? Yeah, that's not going to work. I don't know what to tell him, to be quite honest. I mean, other than I can't help you. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. I told Brandon, you better go over there and help your father-in-law. You better go over there and help him figure out what he's going to do. Because I can't help him. And I told him, I said, and you need an accountant on top of that. You need an accountant. Like, I'm an accountant, but I ain't doing your money for you. Because you the whole reason why I got to go back and be an accountant anyway. Like, go sit down. I'm not helping you. I don't know what to tell you. So, yeah, that's that. So, also, briefly, get into what happened with my aunt. So, my other aunt, the one who's the executor of my mother's estate, and one of her sisters, decides that this gonna be the year that we aggravate the shit out of Lindsay. We're just gonna be obnoxious and unhelpful. And we gonna make it a point to point out your failings and the possibility that you could die from being overweight. We're gonna make sure we point this out. And then tell her, oh yeah, by the way, you ain't gonna lose that weight. You ain't gonna lose that weight. You're not gonna do it because you're too lazy to go and do it. So the gist of it all is, it was implied that I was a whiner. No. She came out right and said I was a whiner. That I'm lazy, that I'm fat, and that it was implied that I am boy crazy. I was like, let me make sure I got this right. Number one, I'm 36 years old. I'm a grown-ass woman. I done made some mistakes in my life. A pretty big doozy of them is marrying the person that I married the first time around. But that's neither here nor there. We done already resolved that situation and fixed that shit. Okay? That's done. That's been done for 5 years at this point, by the way. Almost 5 years, because it'll be 5. Well, no, it's been done for 5 years. Because I've been divorced 5 years as of January the 8th, 2018. Which, by the way, that marks also 5 years that I've been doing videos. Because Dark Girl Chronicles, which should be on season 5, is really on season 4. But because I took, years off at a time, but it's been 5 years. Okay. Because I did my very first video December 31st, 2012. My divorce hearing was like video number 3 or 4, okay, which would have been January the 8th, 2013. So here we are. But that's neither here nor there. I know I have made some mistakes in my life. I have. I have made some mistakes. I have been married to the possibly one of the world's worst people, okay, who, God help me, if I could change that, I would. If I could go back and change that shit, do you not think that I would not go back and change that? I would have changed it immediately. I don't want to be married to him. I don't even want to have somebody say, oh, but you used to be married to, because the man was awful. Okay? The man was awful. There ain't no other way of getting around that. And besides, you guys have heard me talk about just how awful his ass was anyway. Okay? But y'all, how is that helpful in reminding me that I was married to the world's worst person? How is that helpful? How is that helpful to me as a human being? How? How is that helpful? How does that help me grow as a person? And throwing it in my face, one, like it's my fault, because we all have established that it is not my fault that I was divorced. 2, that I married this person. Why are we throwing this in my face? Like, how does this even work, actually? Okay. 3rd, how are you being helpful? How are you being helpful in my growth as a person? You are my aunt, okay? You the next closest thing to a mother that I got, okay? Because my mama is now gone. How are you being helpful? How are you fulfilling your duties as an aunt by reminding me that I married the world's worst person? How? How does this help me grow as a person? How is it that you look at your niece and think, I should remind her that she married the world's worst person 10 years ago? 14 years ago. How does this even work? Like, I texted my brother and I told him, I said, you will never, ever hear me do that to your children. You will never hear me do that. I don't care. You know what? They could do some of the stupidest shit in the world, but you will never, ever hear me say to them, you're a terrible person because you did this. Like, I'm not going to be that type of aunt. I never have been, and I never will. Even if my sister's children, because both of my sisters have children. Even if I actually talk to them on a regular basis, I don't. But if I talk to them on a regular basis, I would not do that to my nieces and my nephews. Like, what in the world? Like, why would you do that? How are you helping them be smart, strong, successful people by reminding them of their failure all the time? Like, what? What in the world? Like, I said to her, I was like, how are you helping me right now? Are you being supportive right now? No, you are not. She actually got mad with me because I said she wasn't being supportive. I'm like, but how are you being supportive? Are you being supportive? No, you are not. You are making me feel worse than I already do. Okay? I'm the one who has to live with that for the rest of my life. Even if I marry someone else, which apparently is a problem. I'm like, how the shit does this get to be a problem? Let me make sure I got this right. First of all, I wasn't supposed to marry the man I married. Okay, that's a problem right there. I wasn't supposed to marry him because he wasn't shit to start with. Okay, fine. I divorced him. You would think that you would be happy that your niece has managed to find someone that is obviously perfect for her. He is perfect for her. The man adores her. Okay? He himself has said this. He has, despite all of my craziness and my ridiculousness sometimes, because I can be ridiculous. There are times where I'm just like the most ridiculous person in the world. And I get on my own nerves. Okay? Like, I get that. But the man himself has come out and said, I adore you. Okay? I adore you. And I'm like, okay. I guess okay. Listen, I'll take it. But I'm like, I don't understand how you then fix yourself to say these things that apparently me being happy and finding somebody else and wanting to get married again to actually try this shit again. Okay, with the person I should have been with from the beginning. Okay, I really should have been with him from the beginning. But, okay, that's neither here nor there. But the fact that I want to try this shit again and be with this person again, apparently that's a damn problem. That is a problem. Because we can't be getting married again. Why would you even want to do that? Why did you even get married in the first place? I'm like, your hang-ups aren't my hang-ups. They are not. I promise you they're not my hang-ups. Your hang-ups, you might not have ever gotten married. And that is your choice. That is perfectly fine. Ain't nobody gonna begrudge you because you did not. Okay? You just didn't find the person you were supposed to find. That's not an issue. Listen, if you didn't, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being by yourself. There isn't. As a matter of fact, if I hadn't stumbled on the person that I happened to stumble on, I probably wouldn't be out here trying. I wasn't going to try. Again, I really was not. If it hadn't been the fact that he'd been here the entire time, and I actually had feelings for him beforehand, if he had just happened to come along after the fact, I probably wouldn't have messed with him. Because I don't want to be in a relationship. Okay? I felt like at the time, I wasn't ready to be in a relationship. I wasn't. I had to recover from the fact that my marriage just ended rather abruptly. So no, I knew that being by myself was probably the better option. But when I stopped and I processed what was going on with me, and I processed how I felt about him, then yes, I decided, okay, I could give this a shot. Maybe we get married, maybe we don't. I can be in a relationship with him. I could keep it casual and I'll be okay. And then I realized I don't want to be casual with him. I would like to have a relationship with him. It's perfectly okay for me to want to do that. Okay? There's nothing wrong with me wanting to be in a relationship again. Okay? I had to take this shit in steps because there's levels to this, as Dr. Ned said in the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned in Borderlands, the first Borderlands. There are levels to this shit. Okay? I can want to be in a relationship. Then when I was in a relationship with him, I thought about it and I said, if I decided to get a little bit more serious and we live together, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But it took a long time for me to get to that point. And on top of that, he was the one who broached us living together from the beginning. He broached that subject with me. He was standing in my apartment in Burlington when he came to visit me, and I was in the other room. He was in the bathroom and came out the bathroom and was like, as a matter of fact, he was in the bathroom brushing his hair or some such nonsense. And I was sitting there and we were talking about things. And I said, well, in a couple of months, I'm going to be moving back home. I'm going to be moving back to Columbia. And he said, okay, well, and he said, well, yeah, we had anticipated that because my mama had gotten to the point where it was time for me to move back home to take care of her, which we had already got that in order. We've been getting that in order. So he and I said, well, that's gonna mean something different for us, something different for our relationship. And I said, I'll be much closer. So you're gonna see me a heck of a lot more often. So he said, okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, we were already pretty serious by that point. We had been together almost a year by that point. So he said to me, he was like, well, what do you think about us living together when you move back home? And I said, well, that's kind of a big step. Are you sure you want to do that? And he said, yeah, I wouldn't mind living together. I wouldn't mind that at all. Well, I said, well, also, I can't really live with you at least for the first year that I'm there. I probably can't. I told him, I said, well, we don't know. I can't live with you until my mama passes away. Because the whole point of me moving back home is to take care of her. So I can't live with you until then. So it's you're gonna have to wait, okay? But that'll give you time to get used to that idea, and we'll continue what we were doing. Where I would go and visit, and I would stay a couple of nights and then go back home. So, and we did do that. So and my mama died approximately a year later. So I said, well, we'll see how that goes. So when my mama died, that was in March of that year of 2015, we wound up living together in April. No, I'm sorry, not April. He started coming and staying over. That was April. We started living together in May of 2015. It was May of 2015. So we've been living together almost 3 years. We've been living together almost 3 of the 5 years that we've been together. Because we will have been together 5 years. Which, that's also a big thing. That we will have been living together. We will have been together. Our 5-year anniversary is April the 15th of this year. So, yeah. We will have been together. We will have been living together 3 of those 5 years in May. So, yeah, it was interesting. It's been very interesting. So my main thing with my aunt was, let me make sure I got this right. We took this in levels. Me and that man have been together almost 5 years. And you really still gonna sit here and make the statement that I shouldn't be, what? Like, it was crazy. I just put it that way. It was crazy. Because I just was like, where is this coming from? I don't understand where it was coming from. But just because she hadn't gotten married, I guess she feel like nobody should get married. And I'm like, no, baby, that ain't how that works. That's not how that works. Try again. I I don't know. And the thing that bothered me the most about it was I was talking about how I was going to start going to the gym and that I was working on changing my eating habits. And, I had already been working on that, and that I had been going to the gym. I was going to start going to the gym, and that I had started playing DDR again, and that I was, trying to make all these changes, whole scale changes, gradually and get started and, start taking care of myself a little bit better before, the whole diabetes diagnosis thing came into play. But you know what really bothered me? What really, really bothered me was that she was not supportive. She was like, you're going to have to do more than that. You're going to have to do da-da-da-da-da-da. And you ain't going to do it. And da-da-da-da. I mean, it was like, she was like, you've been saying this for how long? That's not the goddamn point. Okay? It ain't. It really ain't the point. If you gonna sit here and say that, first of all, I would never tell somebody that. Never. I would never tell them that. If you see they out here trying to be serious and they have problems with sticking with it and doing it, why would you tell them you ain't gonna do it? You done said this before and da-da-da-da-da-da. Why would you tell them that? Like, how does that help? Because my main question was, are we being helpful right now? No. So there was that. Then there was the implication that I'm boy crazy. She brought up the fact that I had once upon a time pretend married this boy that I was going with, because that's what young folks used to say back in the day. You was going with somebody. I was going with this boy in the 4th and the 5th grade. Who, quick side note, shout out to Marcus. Congratulations. I know I had posted and said congratulations, but congratulations again. I'm super happy for you. I was going with Marcus James in the 4th and 5th grade. Okay. I'd known Marcus since I was in the 1st grade. We went to the same elementary school. We wound up going to the same middle school. We wound up going to the same high school. Okay. We were boyfriend and girlfriend in the 4th and 5th grade. All of 4th grade, half of 5th grade. Okay. Or like a third of the 5th grade or whatever. But it wasn't all of 5th grade. I pretend married this boy in the 4th grade on like August something or another. 1990. Okay. 1990. This is important. This was in 1990, August of 1990. I was 9 years old. I'm 36 now. Do y'all know she still brought up that fact that I pretend married this boy 27 years ago? 27! That's as old as my youngest cousin who just texted me while I was sitting here. My cousin is 27. My cousin's firstborn child is 27 years old. That's how long ago, okay? She was born the same year, a month before that happened. She was born the same year that I tried to marry this boy, okay? And all it meant was we just really liked each other. And we liked spending time together when we had time to spend together. How much time can 2 9-year-olds spend together who don't live in the same neighborhood and go to the same school? Like, how much time can you spend together? Recess. That's about it. Okay. Also, we were in the same class. We were in this advanced academics program is what it was called. So it was called AAP. All right. But it was for like exceptionally bright kids who were super high achievers and could handle the extra work. Okay. Because I was one of the first who, as a matter of fact, I was the first at my school who was in this program. I was the first. They developed it because my little black ass was too smart for my own good. I was responsible for creating this damn program, basically. I was a test subject for it in the first grade because my little ass couldn't keep still and do the work that I was supposed to be doing. And actually, I was doing the work that I was supposed to be doing. I was just more advanced than the other children in my class, Marcus included at that point in time, till they tested him and found out that he was capable of doing the work. Okay, so they started getting together. When I was in the first grade, I would have to go sit in the second grade class and do second grade level work because I was blowing through all of the first grade work, just blowing through it. Like, there was, I'd be sitting there twiddling my thumbs and them trying to amuse myself in the middle of class. And the teacher would be like, okay, we got to have a conference with your mama. So, and she did. She called my mama, and my mama was like, we got to have a parent-teacher conference. Why? What did she do? What did she do? And my teacher was like, no, it's not so much what she was doing. It's the fact that she was doing it. It's that we're doing work in class, and Lindsay clearly has mastered whatever it is we're already doing. She is far and above all the other little kids in her class. Like, everybody else out here trying to figure out how to do this, she's already done it. And she can explain it to me. That's the thing. And my mom was like, really? You don't say. So that's why she ain't got no homework when she come home. Because she's already done her homework. Or whatever it was she was supposed to be doing. Oh, okay. We see how this works. Which my mama had said, as a matter of fact, that was in kindergarten. Because when I was in kindergarten, I had that issue. My reading scores were off the charts. Like, we talking about off the charts. That's why when I took the SAT as a senior in high school, or junior in high school, I took the SAT my junior year. And I scored off the charts in the verbal. Like, I scored 600 on the verbal. Okay. That by itself was enough. So, which is why I got accepted into USC's journalism program, because that's what I wanted to do anyway. I wanted to go into journalism. But my writing and my verbal, off the charts. I never got anything less than an A in English. I never got anything less than an A in English. And if I did, it was because I wasn't trying and I didn't care. So that's why she knew immediately. I could read by the time, I could talk in full sentences by the time I was a year old. It wasn't none of this babbling or none of this da-da-da mama. It was mama, I want. Mama, give me. Mama, I want to do. So, and that's because my mother, incredibly intelligent. My mama was off the chart smart too. All of my aunts and uncles are like that. So, my daddy, he does incredibly stupid shit all the time. But he ain't dumb by any stretch of the imagination. There's nothing dumb about that man. Nothing. He is incredibly smart. So, he just does dumb shit. But you mix those two together, you get me. Okay? So, I knew that I was intelligent. I mean, I knew I was smart. And my mom was like, well, they wanted you to skip the second grade, but I told them no. I was like, damn it, mama. And she was like, because I didn't want you to miss out socially. Socially, you were not where your peers were. So I was like, screw people, okay? And therein lies the problem. So, but I remember her telling me that they wanted me to skip the second grade. Or the first grade. It was one of the two. They wanted me to skip one of the grades. And she was like, no. And she said, because she skipped a grade. She skipped the fourth grade. So, she wound up, she was in the same year with my aunt, Jean, whose house I live in. My Aunt Jean, off the chart smart. So, she wound up, And she said she suffered for it because she wasn't socially, she wasn't quite where she needed to be. She was, but she wasn't. Only reason why is because she had brothers and sisters around, so she had to learn how to be sociable and that sort of thing. But that's why I got put in the first. I remember in kindergarten I had to go to first grade reading classes. Okay, and I didn't struggle in that at all. Second grade, when I was in the first grade, I went to second grade reading classes. And then by the time I got into the second grade, they created a program where the kids were in that program. That all of those who had tested really well and could do the work, they were in that program. Now, my math skills suffered. I was not a math person. Ooh, Lord, I wasn't a math person. My math was terrible. So, because I couldn't think in terms of numbers. For me, I'm more now, which is crazy because now I'm an accountant, which means money and math. So, and I still have a little bit of trouble with accounting. I noticed that I have a little bit of trouble with the more concrete aspects of it. And therein lies my problem. And I realized this as a young person. I mean, like a little young person still in elementary school. I am an abstract person. I deal very well with abstract concepts. I am very creative. I can deal with creativity. I can think up things. I can write. That sort of thing. I can do that very well. I cannot deal with concrete concepts wherein there's only one solution to the problem and I have to figure that solution out. If I have a problem where I can attack it from different angles and I have different solutions to the problem, I'm great. If it's a single solution to the problem and I can't get there but one way, we're going to have an issue, which is why math, being a concrete concept, was so hard. That's why language, for me, language is an abstract concept. That's why picking up languages was easy for me. And if I had really, really, really cared and paid attention, I probably would have retained more of it than what I still have now. But math was so hard for me because it was hard for me to envision this one set way to do something. I'm like, okay, I need to be thinking out the box. I need to be thinking about a solution over here, a solution here, a solution here. Like, I need multiple solutions to this one problem. And then I can solve it and pick whichever one I want and see how it works out. Then if that don't work, I got another one. Math, I can't do that. I can't do that to save my life. So accounting is hard, especially with intermediate accounting, because I have to sit there and attack the problem from one angle. You can only balance your book one angle, okay? There's only one way to do that. Like valuing the price of bonds and stocks and stuff. There's one way to do that. So it's hard for me to wrap my mind around that. So that's where I struggle. But in this class, all of these kids were super smart and everybody in the class was smart. There wasn't no dummies in this class. So that's why it was like, wow, okay, I got to keep up with everybody else. And I did. I had fairly good grades when I was in elementary school. I didn't get into the super smart thing in middle school and high school. I didn't care enough after that to be like, oh, I want to be in this super smart group. I won't be in there with them. So, I mean, it wasn't that I dumbed myself down. I just didn't work above my level more than I had to. And my math kept me from doing that. So, I wound up, I was in college prep classes, but I wasn't like, cause I knew I was going to college. We going to college. But I wasn't in like AP, the advanced, stuff, the accelerated stuff. I wasn't in that. I wasn't in, I wasn't in any honors, the AP honors stuff. I wasn't in none of that. So yeah, that wasn't my thing. That was way too much work and I didn't want to go through all of that. I mean, I could have probably done it, I mean, I could have probably done it if I had really exerted myself and put a lot of work into it. Yeah, I would have done it and I would have been okay, but I didn't really want to do all that. And it was too brain taxing, to be quite honest. Like, I was like, man, listen, I don't want to do that. That's too much work. I was lazy then. So, yeah, no. But me and Marcus were in this class. We were in this class together from the second grade on. Okay? Second, third, fourth, and fifth grade. Okay? So, yeah, it was kind of cute being in the same class with my boyfriend until it wasn't. Okay? But we knew the same teacher. Shout out to Glenda Doucette, who, boy, she had a lot of patience with us kids. I couldn't have been no teacher. It's, oh, Lord, not especially then with a bunch of advanced group of children. I couldn't do it because them kids would have worked on my nerves, myself included. But I remember being in that little group, and we did spend a little bit of time together, and like she would call on me and I'd have to answer questions, and it was annoying being in the same class with him, because if I didn't answer the question right, I'm like, I'm hope the boy don't think I'm dumb. But but I mean, yeah, 9-year-old girls they're exceedingly insecure. But I was worried about that, and truth to tell, I don't think he cared one way or the other, to be quite honest. But it's the fact that my aunt referenced this event that happened 27 years ago. Okay. I was like, why are we still talking? I haven't seen him since 1999. I talk to him every so often on Facebook, every so often. And he just got engaged, okay, which is why this is important. He actually just got engaged to his girlfriend. And I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for him. Because that's awesome. But I'm like, why are we still talking about this? And it happened 27 years ago. I done married 2 people basically in the time since this. I done had countless boyfriends. I married 2 people, basically, and almost married a third. Like, what in the world? Like, why are we talking about this? What does this have to do with the person I live with? You know I live with him. It's pretty obvious. All his stuff is in this house. We have pictures of his dad, his mom, and him on the coffee table with the rest of my family members. Pictures of my family members. Why are we talking about this right now? What this got to do with? Okay. So I was like, I'm also going to use the motivation, the way she even said it. And this is what bothered me. And I actually I'm pretty sure I figured out what bothered her about the whole thing. I'm pretty sure. I had said, well, my other motivation for losing weight is because I want to look nice when I walk down the aisle in 2 years. And y'all would have thought that I had said, I'm just going to flat out marry this man right now. You know, I done married him, ain't told nobody, and that, you know, I done made a deal with the devil again, and here we are. We're going back to the previous relationship that I was in. You would have thought I had come out and said something that dumb and that stupid and foolhardy. Like, I'm like, what kind of, something wrong with you? Like, but then I realized while I was sitting there, I figured out what her problem was. Because his pictures and things are on the coffee table, and because you can see he lives there with me. It's clear that he lives in this house with me. Like, it's clear. It's not a secret. It's not, the only person who probably didn't know that is her. And I'm pretty sure my Aunt Angie told her that. Okay? I'm pretty sure. My Aunt Angie talks to her fairly often. Okay? Because that's her sister. She gonna talk to her. And she gonna tell her what's going on with the nieces and nephews in town. And, you know, I'm gonna keep her up what's going on with folks. So I'm pretty sure she done told her that years ago. Like I say, me and the man been living together for almost 3 years. So I'm pretty sure she mentioned to her at some point, well, she moved in, well, he moved in with her. So it shouldn't be a secret at this point. But it ain't even a secret that we're engaged. Again, I didn't specifically mention it and say, oh, Brandon and I are getting married. I just said, I mentioned in passing, and it's obvious I was wearing a ring. Like, I'm wearing a ring on my left fourth finger, okay? Like, come on, man. Like, so it's not a secret that we together. It's not a secret that we live together. And it's not a secret that we're getting married. I mean, damn. Like, so I'm just like, but what set her off is the fact that she was here and she clearly saw signs that we lived together. Like, his pictures of his family are on our coffee table. I'm pretty sure she saw that and she put 2 and 2 together and she was like, so I'm pretty sure that's what pissed her off. But my problem here is you need to get over it. You're going to need to get over it. And you're going to have to suck it up and deal with it. Okay? Listen, I'm a grown woman. I like companionship. I have chosen to live with someone and I have chosen to marry this person. And it's not as if I'm eloping with the man again. We done already sat down and talked about this. This is going at snail's pace at this point. Because we're not jumping into that again without being informed and understanding what the hell going on. We're not going to do that. We're not doing that. So, I mean, I'm just like, you need to stop. And you need to just get over it and suck it up. Yes, I'm going to make mistakes. I have to learn from my mistakes. I have to learn on my own. I know you don't want to see somebody go through that. Somebody that you care about and you love. I get that part. But I have to go through these things on my own and learn to deal with it on my own. Like, I can't, just because I've gone through it don't mean, it doesn't change who I am as a person. And as a matter of fact, I think I've recovered quite nicely. I would like to think that I have. So then my last point with her was when she sat up there and she implied that I was whining about losing weight being hard and that dealing with losing weight and working through my mama's death and motivating myself to do these things and take care of myself. And she implied that I was a whiner. That is where I was most and chiefly offended. I don't think I've ever been that offended in my life. And I've been offended by some people that's supposed to be, caring about my well-being. I've been offended by people who claim to care about me in my lifetime. Oh, I've been offended by that. But I don't think I've ever been that offended in my life. It was offensive enough to make me want to stop talking to her, period. Like, I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be around you. I would disown you if I could, type of offended. Because how dare you? First of all, how people deal with things is how people deal with things. Ain't everybody gonna deal with it the same way. You dealt with my mama's death the way you dealt with her death. I deal with it differently. Okay. At no point, point 2, have I ever sat here and whined about how hard it was to get over her dying. I haven't whined about the fact that I miss my mama, that I miss my best friend every day. There is not a day that goes by that I don't think about my mama and I don't wonder if she found peace or that she's happy, that she doing whatever it is she wants to do in the afterlife because she is free from this bullshit that we call life, okay? She free from all of this. She ain't got to deal with that man next door. She ain't got to deal with bills. She ain't got to worry about her illness and being sick and feeling like she's a burden on her children. She ain't got to worry about any of that shit ever again. She is forever at peace. You know what? I hope that she is with God right now. With God in the Garden of Eden, and she is allowed to do whatever it is she wants to do for the rest of eternity. And I hope that one day when I am on my deathbed, that I know I'm going to join her wherever she is. That is my hope, okay? But nobody sits here and thinks about the fact that I am stuck thinking about missing my mama. That I live in a house where I keep her ashes, and that I miss her being here. I just miss her presence being here. The woman was around before I was around, okay? My mama had been there almost every day of my life for 33 years. I was 33 when she died. Actually, I was 33, almost 34. I was 33 years old when my mama died. And it is not a day that has gone by in the past almost 3 years that I have not thought about that woman every day. So when somebody sits here and calls me a whiner and says, yes, it's going to be hard. You haven't done X, Y, and Z. You don't know what I've done. You don't know what steps I've taken. You don't know where I have come from to get to the point where I am right now for me to say, I am going to do this for myself. And I am using my mother's death as a wake-up call to get my shit together. You haven't seen the journey that I have taken personally. So for you to sit up here and talk about I'm a whiner, that's how I know you're not about me. Because if you were about me, you would know that I have never sat up here and whined about the raw deal that I got in my marriage. I don't even whine about my divorce. Though I could. I could be one of those people who completely whines about it. And whines about how my husband was a hypocrite and a liar. And how I got dogged because I chose to believe in somebody who didn't deserve it. I don't whine about that though. I take it as a large grain of salt and a learning lesson, and I move the fuck on. Hence why I am engaged to someone else. Okay, but that's okay. I don't whine about the fact that I had to give up my career that I already had. Basically move back home, start all over from scratch, work my ass out of debt. And the only way that I managed to get out of debt was for somebody that I cared about more than anything in life to die. Okay? That's the only way I got the hell out of debt. But you don't hear me whining about that. You don't hear me whining about my job being awful because I hate my job. I hate most of the people that are there. I really don't like it. You don't hear me whining about how the hell I got to go back to school in order to get another job. Okay, despite the fact that I've already suffered through 4 years of school before that. Okay, but you don't hear me whine about that. And then when the one time I did talk about my damn job, I had to hear about how, well, I don't understand why you sitting up here crying about this. I don't understand why you whining about this. And literally told me this sitting in front of my niece. And I'm like, this is why I don't talk to you. This is why I don't pick up the phone. This is why I don't come visit. Your other nieces and nephews go and visit you. I do not. There's a reason why I don't. This is why I don't want to call you when shit happens. Because you're going to sit up here and say these things. And you know, I try not to let it get to me. I don't. I try not to. But it does not motivate me. It does not help me. It actually makes me dislike her a great deal. It makes me want to love her from afar, very afar at this point. I You don't even hear me, and the thing that bothered me the most about it, you don't even hear me whine about the fact that my daddy is a shithead, and that it that's affected my life more than anything else. Like, you don't see me whine about that. I mean, I just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I know at this point, I ain't going on with her about it. I ain't going on with it. I ain't, what Ply said, I ain't finna argue with you about it. I don't have time. I don't want to be bothered with it. And I'm more or less like, don't just show up to my house. Please. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. So the day after all of that happened, she had me sitting up there crying in my living room. Not only because my feelings were hurt, but because I was goddamn tired. Tired of the constant beatdown. Just tired. You get tired, especially when it's somebody you really like. You really like them. It ain't just that you love them because they're family, but you really like them. And you respect them and you admire them. And then here they come. And they're like the most negative person on the face of this earth. And I'm like, what in the world? How is it that you can be awesome auntie who cares about her nieces and nephews, actually doing the most for her family, but then you like the most negative person ever? Like, how does that even work? I don't even understand. So, yeah, the next day after that was like the day before Christmas Eve. And she was blowing up my phone for something. And I was just like, decline. Because I really don't want to talk to you right now. I don't. So when I went in the hospital for the diabetes diagnosis, I called her. I don't know what possessed me to do so. I figured because, important person in my life, I should probably call and let them know that I'm kind of in the hospital. All I heard, first of all, it was complete silence when I called to say, I'm in the hospital right now. I don't know what's going on. I just know I'm in the hospital. I was told to leave from the urgent care and come directly to the hospital because my blood sugar is super high and I'm pretty sure I got diabetes. Crickets. There was at least 30 seconds of silence, and then it was, okay, well, yeah, probably you got diabetes. Right. And that was about it. And then I got text messages later. I'm checking in with you to see how you are. Want to make sure you're okay. I talked to Angie, and Angie said you were better and that you were out of the hospital and that, I was like, I'm at home. She was like, well, you need to go home and you need to rest this whole weekend. I wasn't going to call and bother you while you were resting. And I'm like, I know if my niece called me and told me, if my niece Alexis called me right now and said, Auntie, I'm in the hospital. So when you need me to be down there, because I'm going to be down there in about 5 hours. Okay? I'm going to leave work right then. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to find out what's going on with the child. And I'm going to talk to her father. And we're going to discuss things. What's going on with the baby? Why is the baby in the hospital? What the hell is happening with my child? Why is she in the hospital? Which I did actually I texted my niece and my nephew and let them know that I was in the hospital and that I got the same issue they daddy got. It's called diabetes. So be aware if your aunt, your daddy, and your aunt got it, you need to be paying attention. Because this probably is going to happen to you. So, I mean, you got to be aware of the signs. So, but I had talked to them and they were worried about me. My niece texted me back and was like, I was so worried about you. I'm glad you were okay. And I'm like, oh, baby, don't sit there and be worried. Don't worry about Auntie. Trust me, you know if it was really bad. Your daddy would have told you, come on, we got to go to Columbia. But, I mean, I was so mad. I just was like, if that were my niece and I knew she was going, let's just say I would have done something completely different. And my reaction would not have been one of silence and then, well, okay. So what you want me to do about it? That's not, no, absolutely not. My niece would have known immediately. Auntie is understanding. Auntie knows what's going on. Auntie is very, very much worried about you. And I know you're going to be all right, but know that I'm thinking about you and I'm worried about you and I love you. That would have been that. Whew. So, yeah, that's been my life for the past 6 months. I don't know when I'm going to do another video. I have so much going on right now that it's kind of crazy. It might be somewhere around our anniversary because, of course, this is the 5-year anniversary. So, woo, big deal. I don't know where we're going this year. I was wanting to go to Greensboro and stay a couple of days, take time off and stay a couple of days and come back. But we'll see. Because last year we went to, like I said, we went to Concord Mills and we stayed overnight in town here. And then we went for the day. So I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something special because it's 5 years. So we'll see. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching. I mean, no. Hopefully by the time you guys see me again, I will have lost some weight. Also, I'm going to try to do some wedding videos, my wedding planning videos. I've got to work on that. Because, I mean, we're now at the 2-year mark as of April. We will be at the 2-year mark. And so I kind of want to do something with that and get that started and rolling at the 2-year mark, because 2 years really is the time when I can start planning. So, yeah, we got April 10th, 2020. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. So thank you for watching, and I hope to have something in a little bit with some more videos, something, I don't know, something. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Deuces.